yes, I would ask people to tell the truth.
If there's one thing Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have mastered in recent years, it's the art of public embarrassment.
Being back on social as well, I have a place where I can share it on my own terms.
From tense moments to the battle of the claw and ego-driven engagements in between, Meghan Markle keeps outdoing herself in one field, embarrassology. And then there's her recent stunt, deliberately releasing that video of herself twerking in the hospital room while allegedly pregnant with Lily. It's a move nobody saw coming, but it reveals one undeniable truth about Meghan. Ready to hear it? Hey everyone, welcome back to Scandalous Media. It's Angela here, and boy oh boy do I have a lot in store for you today. You guys know I love covering Meghan and Harry's embarrassing behavior, and I have done many videos on them because whenever they have a public appearance, it's almost a guarantee that they're going to embarrass themselves. It's like a little treat they love to give me because then I can make a video like this.
It's like a reward.
But in this video, I'm focusing solely on Meghan, so Harry's stuttering and performative head nods can wait their turn. His cringe deserves a spotlight all on its own. Before we get started, be sure to like and subscribe for new videos every week. Put those post notifications on so you don't miss the live chat premiere we do for every single video. Follow us on our socials, check out scandalous.media for inside celebrity tea, and brace yourself because this one's a secondhand embarrassment masterpiece. When privacy meets spectacle. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have gotten clowned for 5 years straight because they claim to want privacy and yet they do the exact opposite. This is a theme I've explored for years on my channel, so I won't bore you with the repetitive details when we have new gold to start digging into. In honor of Lily's birthday, Meghan took to social media with a flurry of posts to celebrate her daughter, a level of effort noticeably absent when Archie's birthday rolled around, and that raised a few eyebrows for a different reason, but we'll circle back to that later. True to form, Meghan made the moment more about herself than her child. One post in particular went viral, a video of her and Harry twerking in a hospital room. Yes, twerking, accompanied by the caption, 4 years ago today, this also happened. Both of our children were a week past their due dates, so when spicy food, all that walk-in acupuncture didn't work, there was only one thing left to do. Because apparently, when in doubt, twerk it out, in a hospital gown, while allegedly pregnant for millions to see. The now infamous hospital twerk. Cringe isn't even the word, it was desperate. Meghan, allegedly 9 months pregnant, is seen dancing around a hospital room in a black dress, giggling and twerking with Harry. The video starts awkwardly with Harry running around to turn the music on as Meghan waits. Suddenly she starts dancing as the song starts playing, as Harry comes into the frame trying to have a role in the spectacle that is his wife's show with him as a reoccurring character. Then Meghan holds her belly, and this is the part that everyone is talking about. What is under her belly? Why does it look like that? You already know what people are going to say, so why provide more content to feed into the story you've been pushing back on for years? One user wrote, "For those still having doubts, look at the movements of this belly. That is a separate entity from the body. No pregnant belly can move up and down like that." Now you guys know I love to be a fair gal, so I was like, what could this possibly be? It's possible that Meghan was wearing a fetal monitor during labor and it looks something like this, so that may explain why the bump looked lumpy and like a blanket unfolding, but still people weren't convinced. I found this video of a woman doing the trend back in 2024 and her belly was strapped up to this device, so that's a possible explanation as to why Meghan's belly appeared that way. But notice one key thing. This woman is strapped up to a device, and Meghan is freely twerking with nothing attached. But that's not the only thing that raised questions. People started doing their research and quickly noticed something was off. The outfit Meghan was wearing in the video doesn't match what patients are typically given to wear at Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital. In fact, photos of other couples in the exact same delivery room show a completely different hospital gown. Standard issue, not Meghan's custom-looking ensemble. It's possible that she opted to wear something else as she strives to be different, because while it appeared to be a dress with a tie in the front, when Meghan twirls, you can see the buttons in the back that open up the dress. People were quick to question the state of her pregnancy, particularly since labor typically brings intense pain, not choreography. According to Meghan, she had gained 65 pounds, feared falling in heels, developed preeclampsia, and thought she might die. And yet, there she was, twerking in a hospital room. One user claiming to be a medical doctor offered this insight. "There is no way on this green earth that the medical staff would have let her induce like this. She was a high-profile, high-risk geriatric pregnancy. She would have been hooked up to every monitor in the hospital with every consulted surgeon on call surrounding her bed. Also, with preeclampsia, you will never allow a patient to twerk because you might just induce an abruption." Their concerns actually line up with standard medical practice. Preeclampsia is a serious hypertension-related condition that typically develops after 20 weeks of pregnancy, often classified as high risk and demands constant monitoring of both mother and baby. Patients with preeclampsia are typically monitored with multiple devices, frequent blood pressure checks, continuous fetal heart rate monitors, and sometimes bed rest or hospital admission, depending on severity. In that context, a spontaneous hospital room twerk seems wildly out of step and medically reckless. This ties right back to my whole dissertation on Meghan wanting it all. She wants to be the elite celebrity and the struggling mother, a private queen who demands respect yet insists on broadcasting every intimate detail of her life, a mother who claims to face every pregnancy complication in the book yet somehow has the energy to dance and twerk freely for the cameras. It's like trying to be both a headline-making superstar and a vulnerable off-the-record human, two roles that rarely, if ever, coexist without contradiction. Meghan's desperate attempts to break the internet with attention-grabbing stunts like this reveal a troubling pattern of prioritizing spectacle over substance. Unlike celebrities who build their brands on authentic connection, she seems willing to sacrifice credibility and privacy for fleeting viral moments. The problem is, these cringe-worthy performances don't just fail to endear her to the public, they actively break that trust and respect. Trying to manufacture breaking the internet moments through staged antics isn't just shallow, but it's a sign of insecurity and a lack of genuine influence. And while shock value may generate headlines briefly, it does little to build a lasting respected legacy, something even the Kardashians have learned after years in the spotlight. And now, she's on the front pages of the newspaper and magazines, but at what cost? And here's the wild part. The song Meghan used in the video, Baby Mama by Star Keisha, was actually released all the way back in 2013 and originally went viral in 2018. So technically, it wasn't brand new when Lily was born in June 2021, but here is what's strange. The song didn't resurface as a major TikTok trend until late 2023 into early 2024, when it blew up again thanks to creators like Hailey Sharp and others. So while Meghan could have known about the song back in 2021, it certainly wasn't at the height of its popularity at the time. Which begs the question, was this video really recorded back then? Or was it filmed later, edited for aesthetics, and released in 2025 to line up with a late trend? Because the timing feels a little too perfect for someone who claims to value privacy. At the very least, it raises eyebrows. And in the world of carefully curated public image and soft launch PR stunts, nothing is ever just a coincidence. What do you guys think? Meghan's one undeniable truth, and using the kids to keep the crown close. At the start of this video, I said this spectacle revealed one undeniable truth about Meghan, and here it is. She's desperately trying to prove herself, and more importantly, disprove the long-standing rumors that she wasn't actually pregnant and used a surrogate. This video wasn't just about showing a labor moment, it was about shouting, "See, I was pregnant," to the world. But in trying so hard to silence the speculation, Meghan crossed the very boundary she's constantly asking others to respect, her own privacy. If you're preaching about the importance of protecting your personal life, why are you posting yourself twerking in a hospital gown? Meghan is fully aware there's a corner of the internet that doesn't believe she was ever pregnant and instead used a surrogate. It's become its own conspiracy theory, and whether you buy into it or not, it's clear that she knows the rumors exist. And time again, she's pushed back, not with silence or grace, but with a flood of overcompensation. When people feel insecure or backed into a corner, they often try to control the narrative through overexposure. That's exactly what we see with Meghan. Instead of brushing off the speculation, she leans in, hard, posting photos of her bare belly on what looks straight out of a 2014 Pinterest board, offering up private pregnancy images on Netflix, or sharing hyper-detailed, ever-evolving stories about childbirth, miscarriages, and medical emergencies. Take her recent appearance on the Jamie Kern-Lima show. She's insisted she's done trying to prove herself.
We spend so much of our life trying to prove something. To prove that you're enough. You have to prove that you're pretty enough. You have to prove that you're smart enough. You prove that you're a good wife or a good friend. And I was like, I am just so done with the prove it game. I don't have to prove anything to you anymore. I don't have to prove that I'm a good person. I don't have to prove to you that I'm a good wife or mom or friend.
And yet everything she does screams the opposite. The constant storytelling, the curated vulnerability, the dramatic retellings. It's a PR campaign wrapped up in a personal narrative. And the most telling part, Meghan's reportedly thrilled with the reaction. According to a source who spoke to the Daily Mail, Meghan is very pleased with the video. In the UK, everyone's reaction has been a bit prudish, but everywhere else, particularly in America and especially with young people, it has been a huge hit. Let that sink in. This wasn't some off-the-cuff nostalgic memory, this was a calculated move, and one she sees as a win. According to insiders, the video is part of a broader PR push aimed specifically at American audiences, especially younger consumers who are more likely to reward boldness over tradition. The source added, her new products are marketed at Americans and not at the UK market. Which brings us to Meghan's ongoing vendetta with the UK, the country she claims broke her spirit, silenced her voice, and misunderstood her from day one. On Netflix, she tried hard to rewrite that narrative. She wasn't the outsider who failed to adapt. She was the warm-hugging, down-to-earth American in ripped jeans, just trying to spread joy in a sea of stuffy, standoffish Brits. But behind that carefully constructed contrast lies resentment and strategy. Meghan knows she's burned bridges in the UK, so she's repositioning herself as an all-American, fun-loving, rebellious mompreneur. She's not looking to win back the British press, she's trying to monetize the backlash. Every cringy moment, every awkward video, every viral soundbite is now fair game if it means clicks, sales, or sympathy from a US audience that she believes still sees her as the relatable underdog. So while the UK may cringe at the hospital room twerk, Meghan and her team are counting engagement metrics. It's not about class, it's about conversion. And now, we get to the heart of Meghan and Harry's long game, the kids. It's becoming increasingly clear that Meghan is using her children as royal armor. Just look at the way she handled Lily's birthday. 4 separate posts, a twerking video, personal photos of her and Lily, then a separate post for Lily and Harry, then a whole vlog of their family day at Disneyland. I mean, it was a rollout that looked more like a soft launch for a new product line than a child's birthday tribute. Meanwhile, Archie, her firstborn, got 1 post. No viral video, no flashy narrative, barely a whisper by comparison. It's not just favoritism, it's tactical branding. Lily, named after the Queen and born on US soil, has become the face of their A Merry Royal brand. Every public appearance, every carefully curated image of the kids is another tool in the long war of optics. According to my Scandalous media sources, Meghan is intentionally using Lily to make a point. Why? Because Lily is the only child the royal family has no real connection to. She wasn't born in the UK, hasn't spent meaningful time with the Windsors, and remains, by design, distant from that world. In other words, she's Meghan's royal trump card, a symbol of what they've taken with them and what the firm can't control. And then there's Harry, the man who sat across from Oprah in 2021 and solemnly declared that the royal family is trapped. His father, his brother, all imprisoned by the crown, has suddenly flipped the script. Now, he's reportedly concerned that his kids might be denied the use of the Sussex title and is even floating the idea of switching them to Spencer if royal ties are blocked. He's also said, according to reports, that he wants his children to retain their HRH titles so they can decide for themselves whether or not they want to become working royals in the future. Hold on, what? This is the same establishment he and Meghan claimed ruined their mental health, silenced Meghan, and nearly drove them to a breaking point. The same firm Harry fled to protect his family, and now he's saying he wants his children to have the option to serve that very institution because of a title? You can't have it both ways. You can't burn the house down and then try to leave the door open just in case the kids want to inherit it later. It's not about freedom, it's not about choice, it's about leverage. Meghan and Harry are using their children as pawns in a slow-motion power play, fighting to retain the royal status they publicly renounced while privately clinging to the perks that come with it. Titles, brand value, global recognition, it all gets passed down through the kids. And the message to the monarchy is clear. You may not want us, but you'll never erase us. Not everyone's buying the narrative. Shortly afterward, Meghan appeared on an episode of Emma Grede's podcast where she reflected on the baby mama video and the role her kids play in her public image. And when I tell you that half of this video was already recorded before that episode dropped, only for Meghan to go on and confirm everything I've been saying here, let's just say the mask is slipping and the playbook is showing. Let me know if you want a separate deep dive on that episode. There was a lot to unpack and I can break it down just as thoroughly as I did with the Jamie Kern-Lima interview. First, the teaser premiered of Meghan in a navy blue suit sipping tea while hinting at spilling the tea, kinda like a drama channel. Only difference is, I never claimed not to like the drama. Once again, the hypocrisy practically screams through the screen. Meghan casually sips tea in the podcast teaser, clearly leaning into British symbolism while teasing a tea spill of her own, performing aristocratic mannerisms from a culture she spent years publicly condemning. It's funny how she adopts the aesthetic of British nobility while insisting she escaped it for being cold, oppressive, and in her words, racist. This latest image shift, playing posh while claiming victimhood, won't land. You can't cosplay the very institution you claim broke you and expect the audience to buy it. We're not buying many things from Meghan, but she keeps on trying to sell. For example, this idea that everything written about her is a lie, a demon she's been trying to slay for years.
If you could rewrite your public narrative from scratch, is there anything that you would do differently?
Yes, I would ask people to tell the truth.
And yet the only person who has been exposed for lying is none other than Meghan. Her own father exposed her, her former employees, even timeline evidence like the false claims about her private wedding have exposed her. Hell, she even had to apologize in court for lying about not being behind the PR book Finding Freedom. And this goes hand in hand with what I talked about in my last video about As Ever failing as a brand. Meghan's thirst for trying to prove herself. If you let the work do the talking, then actions speak louder than words. But she's in this endless dryer cycle trying to combat the narrative that has only come from her actions. Like, how long has this narrative been peddling?
People should expect the real me in this, and probably the me that they've never gotten to know, certainly not in the past few years.
How many times are we going to get to know the real you, Meghan? Or is it constantly a rebrand gone wrong? She was so proud of her baby mama dance, she even brought it up herself on the podcast.
Just be authentic. Did you see my baby mama dance?
I mean, stop it. First of all, can I just tell you, the timing of that.
She breaks out into a huge laugh, like she's so proud of herself for twerking it up in the hospital room.
I mean, stop it. First of all, can I just...
That laugh says it all. It confirms exactly what I said earlier in this video. Meghan is willing to do anything if it means staying talked about. She then goes into this whole tangent about how the video was from years ago and how people wouldn't know this is happening in her personal life, and you can just see how smug she is, talking like she's found some profound power in simply not oversharing, as if withholding content for a few years before dropping it like a PR grenade makes her deep.
So by the way, that wasn't yesterday.
No,
that was 4 years ago. So it's also a really great reminder that with all the noise or whatever people do, there's still a whole life, a real, authentic, fun life that's happening behind the scenes.
But here's the thing. How authentic is it really if you're itching to share it with the world? If your first instinct isn't to reflect on the joy or the meaning of that moment, but to weaponize it in a look what I've been holding back kind of way, then that's not humility, that's strategy. And when your idea of privacy is a delayed release rather than actual restraint, it's not about protecting your story, it's about controlling the narrative. Which, surprise, surprise, is exactly what she ends up confirming.
I'm just grateful that now, being back on social as well, I have a place where I can share it on my own terms.
So let me get this straight. You dragged the royal family through hell, accused them and the media of wanting to exploit your children, and refused to take part in the traditional post-labor photo because you claimed you wanted to protect your privacy and do things on your own terms. But now you're admitting that you did want the attention. You just wanted it your way. You didn't reject the spotlight. You just couldn't stand the fact that marrying into the monarchy didn't automatically make you the main character. And in your own narcissistic world, being anything less than the most important person in the room simply wasn't going to cut it.
I don't want to miss a moment for my children.
And yet it's those very children she never misses an opportunity to center herself around. Because it's not just about being there for her kids, it's about making sure we see how she shows up for them. Whether it's,
she has loved us so much,
or the rest of the word salad of her apparently doing the following.
You know, volunteer to serve hot lunch at school or be the chaperone for the kindergarten field
you're
trip.
So good. You're making
I
so
love
you have
packing
to
the lunchbox.
It's always me, 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 me. Just look at the way she dramatically clenches her fist while declaring how much she loves packing lunchboxes. It's almost comedic.
You have packing the lunchbox.
You do?
Yes.
Then she claims she's teaching her kids about money and patience by having them work at a farmer's market stand.
Do you have conversations with your kids about money? Like, how are you even beginning to think about that type of thing?
Well, we sometimes do a little farmer's market stand.
This is the same woman whose neighbors have publicly said she doesn't engage with the community, keeps her distance, and avoids casual interaction. But now we're supposed to believe she's out here running veggie stands with the kids and chaperoning field trips? I have no doubt she'd stage those moments for a perfectly timed photo op, but the idea that this is her day-to-day reality, it's pure performance. And the fact that people don't see through it, that's the real mystery. The optics problem. Remember when Meghan appeared at the South by Southwest festival? Well, none other than Brooke Shields has a reflection about that moment, and more specifically, Meghan's word salad. Reflecting on that event, she said,
"We get there, Katie asks the first question to Meghan and talks about how, you know, at a young age, she was already advocating for women, etc. So she starts talking and telling a story about how when she was 11, and she keeps saying, well, when I was 11, I saw this commercial and they were talking about washing dishes, and only soap for washing dishes was for women. And she said, I didn't think only women wash dishes. It wasn't fair. So I wrote to the company. And when I was 11, I wrote my first letter, and then I was 11. And she kept saying she was 11.
Nothing is funnier than how Brooke is retelling the story, because we have all made fun of Meghan for years for being a grown woman recycling some school project as she repeats the words, I was 11, I was 11, I was 11. Maybe Meghan can finally see that it's not the media twisting how she appears, but rather how off-putting her personality is, that even Brooke Shields can't help but laugh at the BS she's hearing.
She was 11. She writes to the company, they changed the text, they changed the commercial.
She basically admits that Meghan was boring the room to death, casually pointing out how the energy finally shifted once Brooke cracked a joke. But then she slips in something even more interesting.
It was more relaxed after that. And I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't think I'm rude. I'm not being rude. I was just sort of,
Why? Because if you recall, Meghan practically snapped her neck from how fast she turned, because how dare she interrupt the great Meghan, even though the audience is contemplating leaving the earth when hearing her speak.
Not small. It just needs to be heard.
Yeah. This is where we're this is one of the ways where we're different. When I was 11, I was playing a prostitute. So, okay, Brooke.
Look at the way she snapped her neck back so fast to look at Brooke. It's funny because Brooke didn't interrupt her in the slightest. Meghan was actually done speaking. As you can see, she put her mic down and was waiting for applause. She tries to play it off, saying, a little different, and actually interrupts Brooke.
When I was 11.
A little different.
I would have been writing very different letters, but equally important, I hope.
About this situation, Brooke basically says that Meghan was boring everyone.
and I was like, they're not going to want to sit here for 45 minutes and listen to anybody be precious, like, or serious, or, and then afterwards, she was kind of like, oh, okay. And I was like, let's just have some fun with it.
You could tell that Brooke isn't trying to be rude because she's describing her as precious, which is a compliment, but even when the other host talks about how Meghan is a wonderful moderation, Brooke stutters like she's trying to force out something nice to say.
But Katie must have been brilliant because she's a wonderful moderator between the two of you.
She's so great. I mean, she does it in her sleep, I think.
Because like I've been preaching, this whole I'm perfect, love me act is off-putting and it gets boring quick. I can't really blame Brooke. If I had to sit through this kind of self-indulgent BS,
The way that we see ourselves is reflected back to us.
Sometimes accurately and sometimes much to our disservice, inaccurately in what we see in media. And so to be able to have the findings to uncover what we can do to propel that, to make sure women are really feeling seen in a way that is reflective of who and how we are and how we move through the world felt important.
I'd be switching the subject too before I slipped into a coma from secondhand embarrassment. Meghan doesn't seem to realize just how outdated she's become, but British Vogue definitely does. In what can only be described as a polite shade, they marked her return to Instagram with a caption that basically said, "Welcome back to 2014. The caption highlighted her old aesthetic, saturated travel shots, yoga poses, peonies, and those cringe millennial pink quotes like, find what you love what you find. And now 7 years later and one royal exit later, she's returned, with the exact same vibe. Meanwhile, the rest of the internet has moved on to gritty photo dumps, raw lighting, and less curated authenticity. But Meghan, she's stuck in her Pinterest board era, recycling old filters like they're timeless, when really they just scream try hard. And the fact that Vogue called it out so directly under the guise of calling her harmlessly millennial, that's not a compliment. That's fashion speak for, you're irrelevant, babe. You don't look at Gwyneth Paltrow, Kim Kardashian, or even Serena Williams and think harmlessly millennial. Because like them or not, they've each evolved with the times while staying true to their identity. Gwyneth has turned wellness into a luxury empire, Kim constantly reinvents herself to stay at the center of pop culture, and Serena, she's transitioned from world-class athlete to businesswoman without ever clinging to an outdated image. Meghan, on the other hand, feels frozen in time, still chasing the aesthetic once dominating on Tumblr, while her peers have long since moved on and leveled up. What really stands out is how this stuck-in-the-past aesthetic completely contradicts the image Meghan wants to project now. She's trying so hard to be seen as laid-back, relatable American, casual jeans, warm hugs, all the real girl vibes, but her Instagram screams the exact opposite. Overly polished, staged, and totally out of step with today's more raw and authentic social media culture. It's like she's trying to rewrite her story but forgot to update the photos. The result? Instead of coming off as genuine, she just ends up looking out of touch and out of ideas. From the baby mama hospital room spectacle to podcast confessions laced with ego, Meghan's not chasing privacy, she's chasing control. Brooke Shields saw through it, British Vogue called it out, and behind every curated clip and caption, one thing is clear. This isn't about truth, it's about narrative. Her brand isn't breaking the internet, it's unraveling in real time. And if you think the story ends here, think again. Because when it comes to Meghan Markle, the performance never stops, and neither do the receipts. Well guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think Meghan posting that hospital video was her way of silencing the surrogate rumors, or just another PR stunt gone wrong? Is it hypocrisy or strategy that she wants her kids to keep their royal titles after dragging the monarchy? Be sure to like and subscribe for new videos each week, follow us on our social media, check out scandalous.media for inside celebrity tea, and as ever, I'll see you next time.